Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're just going to take a few seconds to allow everyone that's joining to enter the room before we get started. So thank you for your patience as we wait to get everyone in. It looks like we are just about ready to start. A few more people coming in right now, so I'll let them all in. Thank you again for those that are just joining. We're just taking a beat as a few people register before we get started. Okay, I think we can kick it off. Well, thank you all for joining today's Global Location Showcase. Today's special feature is Manitoba, and I'm very happy to be able to introduce Lynn Scromita, who is the CEO and Film Commissioner, who will be taking us through our presentation today. Just to let you all know that we will have a question and answer period at the end of the presentation. If you have questions that arise throughout the presentation, feel free to submit them in the chat area, or if you'd like to hold them till the very end, we'll make sure that everyone has a chance to ask and speak up and ask their question. So without any further ado, I will pass it over to Lynn, and thank you all again. Lynn, take it away.
All right, thanks, Marge, and thanks everybody for showing up today. As Marge mentioned, my name is Lynn Scromita, and I am the CEO and Film Commissioner here at Manitoba Film and Music, the agency responsible for being the Film Commission here in Manitoba. And before we got right into things, I thought we would start off with a little reel so you can get an idea of some of the stuff that has filmed here and some of the things, just what we can do here in Manitoba. So I've got my trusty assistant, Marty, here, and she's going to share a little video here with you.
Ever been to Winnipeg, Gertie?
Cool. Yeah, so as you can see, we've done a variety of things over the past, 20 plus years or so, with a variety of different types of features. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the organization and the institution that is known as Manitoba Film and Music. So we are, this is a shot of our capital city of Winnipeg in Manitoba, Canada. For those of you who don't know where we sit in the world, it's right where this orange marker is. That's really right in the center of the province. We are a tiny bit smaller than the size of Texas, actually, but it's quite a big province. Yet the bulk of the people are in the city of Winnipeg, which is actually at the bottom of where those two lakes are right there. And Winnipeg itself has about 800,000 people in it, and the province as a whole has about 1.3 million. So to tell you a bit more about the organization itself, we were established in 1987 by the provincial government of Manitoba. We are not a government department, but we are rather a statutory corporation, which means that we are a government arm's length agency. So we kind of are, so we're not quite a nonprofit, but we're not quite government either. We kind of are in this, sometimes I think it's purgatory, and sometimes I think it's actually the best kind of situation we could have. But we are funded entirely through our provincial sport, culture, heritage, and tourism department, and governed by a board of directors that is appointed by that government. So there are three parts to the organization of Manitoba Film and Music. We are the Film Commission for the province. We also do film financing, so we administer the tax credit on behalf of the province of Manitoba, but we also have film financing in terms of equity, development, production, and marketing funding available as well. And then on top of that, we do some music funding for the music industry here. That's largely around touring, recording, promoting, and that kind of thing. But I want to introduce you to our team. I am the CEO and Film Commissioner, of course, as I've mentioned, and I've been in this role for just over 2 years now. I have a bit of a background running a music festival and also being a television producer. Brian Clasper, who is our Director of Film Financing and Tax Credits, has been with the organization for 16 years and knows everything about financing inside and out, anything about our incentives, anything about our other kinds of available financing and everything like that. So he's a huge asset to our organization. Stephen Foster is our newest addition. He is our Director of Film Commission Services and Industry Development, and is a newly developed role within our organization, really working on workforce development in addition to supporting all the Film Commission role and things that we are doing through there. And then we've got Andrew Gallinger, who's our Manager of Film Commission Services and our in-house locations expert. So he's been with the organization for 10 years and was a locations manager before that and knows anything and everything there is to know about shooting in and around the province. So what we do here at the Film Commission, obviously we market Manitoba around the world, festivals, events, and trips down to LA. We respond to inquiries. Of course, we're often the first port of call for anybody looking to shoot in Manitoba, and we make arrangements for scouts. So we can help people that are interested in coming up with arranging their schedules and itineraries, meeting unions and other crew if they want. But also checking out the locations, of course. We have some special arrangements with hotels and restaurants here as well. So we really want to bring people to Manitoba and show them a good time. So while we don't cover flights specifically, pretty much once everybody lands on the ground that we take over from there. We also work on stewarding relationships. So again, making those introductions, showing people around, troubleshooting where necessary. We also help liaise with our provincial government who owns a lot of land and buildings and that kind of thing as well. And then, as mentioned, we manage the financing, the tax credit incentives, and all of that stuff as well. So quite a few different things we are involved with there. So when you're looking at why you'd want to shoot in Manitoba, there are a variety of different reasons. And I mean, one of the things, and I think is the most exciting part for us, and what is really most appealing to a lot of people, is not only that we have the locations, but we have a really good tax credit incentive. We've got some infrastructure, and it's actually a pretty great place to be while you're here as well. So we're going to talk tax credits. We have two different options available here in Manitoba: the cost of salaries and the cost of production tax credit. So just at a very high level, the base level of our cost of salaries tax credit is 45%. And if you work with a Manitoba producer, you are eligible for an additional 5%. Most, if not all, of Manitoba producers have what's called the frequent filming bonus, which means they've done 3 or more productions within a 2-year period. And that makes you eligible for that frequent filming bonus of an additional 10%. And then if you shoot 50% or more of your shoot days outside of a 35-kilometer radius of the downtown of Winnipeg, you'll be eligible for an additional 5%. So that really does add all the way up to 65%. Now, some people have also found in recent years that the cost of production tax credit can be more lucrative, especially if you're looking for studio or set builds. So that's a base level of 30%. And then if you work with a Manitoba production company, it's up to an additional 8% on all eligible expenditures, which includes the labor. So you can't double them up, but you can have labor as part of the cost of production, because that's one of your Manitoba expenditures if you like. Next from that, a few more details about that. It is a refundable labor-based tax credit. So it is, you will get a check back from us. It is compatible with the federal tax credit, so it's stackable. It's not one or the other. And although it does grind a bit, you still are able to use the Canadian federal tax credit with that. Of course, there's an advantage with the exchange rate as well, especially right now with the US dollars. And a few really nice bonuses about our tax credit too is there's no minimums, no maximums, and no caps. So that means like however big or however small your project is, you're eligible for the tax credit. And because there's no sunset clause, which means the government has made it a permanent line item in the budget, there will be no caps or any concerns about that tax credit going away. We also have the bonus of what's called the deeming provision. And if there is not somebody who is willing, able, or qualified in Manitoba to be able to work on your production, up to 30% of the labor that you need to bring in can be deemed Manitoban, as long as there is a training component that goes along with that. And we can work with you on how that would work. Locations. Of course, that's the other thing that has to happen here is you have to be able to have the wonderful place to shoot. And we've really got such a nice variety of things you can do here. 4 distinct seasons. We're just finishing up fall here right now, but it's and getting into the winter season, and we're seeing more and more winter productions happening. I think one of the other things that's really nice about Winnipeg and Manitoba as a whole is that we have lots of different buildings from lots of different eras, right? So one of the things we're most famous for is that late 19th century, early 20th century downtown sort of feel to it. We say that it's the only place in North America you can actually get a 360-degree period view. So it means like if you stick a camera in the middle of the intersection, and it would look like it was the year 1905 right round in all directions. So it makes it really appealing when you're doing those period films. Getting out of town, you can get into the big wintry landscapes. So we've doubled for both the Arctic and Antarctic in Manitoba here before, and that's just getting into that cottage country area to the beaches and coastline. The lakes that were on the map earlier are actually the 6th and 7th largest freshwater lakes in the world, and so they can really act as ocean coastlines as well. We do a really good job doubling for the US Midwest. We've done tons of stuff through like Kansas and Minnesota and Oklahoma and places like that. So rural towns and farmlands are also our specialty. But we also have that, you know, those sort of like the university and college view as well. And so you can kind of go in and out of the urban and rural environments. And if you want that kind of industrial feel or some really interesting architecture can be found here in Manitoba as well. So again, rural and urban and international kinds of locations. These are some of the things that we've doubled for. In addition to that Midwest feel, we can do California and the northeastern part of the U.S. The Long Walk was just filmed here, of course, which was took place entirely in Maine, but it was shot entirely in Manitoba. Those urban centers that I was talking about earlier, those big American cities, especially when it's turn of the century, or like either century, to be honest, is really a great opportunity. For our buildings, you can see some examples of those there, and then also internationally, we have doubled as Afghanistan because we have a little desert in Western Manitoba, and some of those European locations can be shot here as well. The other thing that's really nice about us is that we're the kind of the size of industry where we have really good relationships with everyone because we're a pretty tight-knit community. So we have great relationships with our municipal government. So you can film at our city hall and our provincial and federal governments. So historical sites are great as well. You can film in real hospitals, so hospitals for hospitals, and the law courts and legislatures as well. And so it's a really nice opportunity to shoot a real wide variety of types of buildings and things. Above and beyond that, we've got really great crews. We've had a really solid industry here for over 30 years, right? So we've got some really experienced people here, and we continue to grow. I mean, we've had 4 Tier A features filming here at the same time, as well as having some smaller productions, including documentary, non-union, Hallmark kind of movies at the same time. So we've really built up an industry here, and of people that work really well together as well. So, and it's always a variety of types of productions too, like fully independent productions, those that are co-productions, including international co-productions. We've worked with a variety of European countries. And then more of the standard US production, like that comes out of LA and the studio system. And you know, and I can tell you all about it, but it's always great when we hear from producers as well. So we have this quote here online that you can read. You know, Mark and Bob Odenkirk have been here 3 times now for feature films in the past 5 years. And we've had a couple of other examples of studios that have really developed relationships here. They know that we're able to do what needs to happen, and they want to come back. I think one of the other big things that's happened for us in the last few years is the ability to develop our permanent infrastructure. We have had a few studios invest in our province and in our city. Big Sky is probably the biggest one that we've got with 4 sound stages there available. Manitoba Production Center is actually a government-owned facility. It's been around a little bit longer and it's a little bit smaller, but still able to do what needs to be done. Jet Studios is the most recent one. It's located just outside of town, so it's eligible for that rural tax credit. And then we also have a variety of warehouse spaces. So if all of these are full, and they have been from time to time, then we are able to work with the community to get some additional warehouse spaces if that's what's needed. We're also really investing in technology in our province and in our city of Winnipeg. So the Studio Lab XR is not only a small production facility, but they're a training facility, which is a real added bonus as well, so that you're not having to invest in renting a bigger space, which is really expensive. You can train people, and as we have been over the past few years, on a much smaller scale space. And then our newest one is Avro XR, which is another virtual production studio, a little bit bigger, used largely for commercial production at this point, but again, utilizing the training that's been happening at the Studio Lab XR, and we're just going to be building from there. When it comes to getting around the city of Winnipeg, it's really nice because we joke about how everything really is 15 minutes away, and so when you're going from the airport to downtown Winnipeg, it is about a 15-minute drive. That's where a bunch of the accommodations and the hotels are. Big Sky and MPC are pretty close to each other, along with a number of the warehouse spaces. So they're also 15 minutes from downtown, and they're also 15 minutes from the airport. So it's really convenient that way. It's nice because we have direct flights from virtually all major Canadian cities, as well as Minneapolis, Denver, and Chicago. We have had historically a direct flight to and from LA. That's been put on pause for the time being, but we're hoping that's going to be coming back in early next year as well. One thing people love to talk about with Winnipeg when it comes to looking at financing and things is the Golden Donut. So if you see that there's like a big ring around the city there's with two lines. The inner line is the 35-kilometer radius that I was mentioning earlier, which is in respect to the tax credit. So outside that first ring, you're able to get that 5% bonus. But then the outer ring is a 45-kilometer radius that the unions use. That's the limit to where you can travel in and out of safely and easily each day. So there's a number of small towns, as you'll see, that it's kind of that within that ring that are often used as shooting locations, because they're really in that perfect sweet spot where you get the extra tax credit, but you can still stay in the city. And again, that extra cost of salaries tax credit is the 5% rural bonus. Some of the recent films that have been shot here in Manitoba, it was really nice this year because we had three major films in theaters, with Nobody to Love Hurts and The Long Walk, all in this year. Clown in the Cornfield actually was also recently there, so that makes it four. Universal Language was Canada's entry into the Academy Awards last year and was shortlisted, so that was entirely shot in Winnipeg too. And Time Cut was a popular Netflix movie from last year as well. So I mean, it's just examples of the kinds of things that have been happening here. We've got a couple of new ones coming out in the new year, and then in just this past year, we've had some great stuff. I mean, Little House on the Prairie did their first season here, and it's pretty exciting because it was a really big production, and we're really happy. It's such a perfect fit for us. And then Violent Night 2 is a sequel to Violent Night, just like Nobody 2, it was a sequel to Nobody. Again, that example of studios coming back repeatedly for opportunities to participate here in the Manitoba economy. Whoops. So when you do come to Winnipeg, a lot of people still don't really know where it is or what we're all about. So we do have a really great atmosphere. We have I know we're known a lot for the cold weather we have here, but there are certainly a lot of warm hearts here as well. So there's a very, very strong arts and culture community. So we've got tons of things to do that way. The restaurants are top notch. We've got lots of great rural environments. Beach country is within an hour drive of here. And then we've also just got, all those fun things like farmers markets and museum exhibits and that kind of stuff as well. We massive festivals and sporting events. We have two professional hockey teams, as well as football, basketball, baseball, and soccer. So if that's your jam, you can certainly check all that stuff out. We are a festival city. Summertime's the best time to be here. We've had lots of people that have been up in Manitoba for shooting, able to get out of town and into some of the fun events that we've done, and we also have helped facilitate golfing and that sort of thing too. Yeah, so some of those arts and culture events, it doesn't matter if it's winter or summer, and we are outside and doing all kinds of fun stuff. We have world-class ballet and theater. The Canadian Museum for Human Rights is the first of its kind in Canada, and a really amazing architectural feat in and of itself. We have the largest Inuit art collection in the world, and a number of really great things to do. So there's certainly no shortage of activities once you're here. So when you do come to Manitoba, we've got a great tax credit. We've got fantastic locations and people to work on them. We've got the kind of infrastructure that people are looking for when creating their projects, and lots to do once you're here. So um, we're always available and happy to chat. We will do location packages. We'll do photo packages. We're more than happy to explain the tax incentives in greater detail. The QR code here leads to our website and will provide you even more details. So that's us.
Thank you so much, Lynn. That was such a great presentation. So interesting to see everything that you have to offer there. I'd love to open it up to any questions that anyone would like to ask. Feel free to raise your hand so that you could speak out or share a message in the chat. One question that came in, someone asked me if the PowerPoint presentation that you put together could be shared. Would you like anyone that's interested to reach out directly to you so you'll be able to have a
Yeah,
conversation with them? Okay,
sure. Yep,
I'm
that'd be
gonna
good.
put your email right in the chat feature here so that people can reach out to you. I don't see any hands or other messages coming in. I'd like to ask you, Lynn, it's great to learn about things like the desert that you have
Mhm.
the ability to shoot in and the diversity of the weather and climate that you have. I'm curious, with your summer months, what the temperatures are like and how this seems like a silly question, but how stable is your snowfall in the winter? Have you noticed any changes in the patterns?
Those are very good questions, actually. Yeah, well, I mean, historically, Manitoba has had, it's been a place of like extremes, right? We get really warm in the summertime and quite cold in the wintertime. But we're seeing that, I'd say in the summertime, we're looking at whether highs of getting into the high 80s, low 90s, or the high 20s, low 30s if you're speaking Celsius. Um, and it's pretty consistent. Like it's been pretty warm and dry in recent years, and we are known for having long days of great sunshine. So weather in the summertime is fantastic. In the winter, snow is pretty much guaranteed. Like there has never been a year that we've not had snow. It's been a little bit later and later. Like there's been a couple of questions as to whether or not we're going to have a white Christmas, but January, February for sure are solid months of weather, and we're like frozen, get on lakes on the ice, all of that kind of stuff. The Liam Neeson shots from the video were definitely shot at that time of year, and so we can pretty much guarantee you'll get that weather.
Oh, great. Also, I was curious, it was really like the size of the hockey stadium that you have, that's quite spectacular. Do you have a great relationship with the stadiums that are present so that if someone does want to come and shoot in those types of locations, you'd be able to work that out?
Yeah, not only do we have a great relationship with the organizations, the organization that runs our arena, their VP of entertainment and events is on our board. So it really makes it easy to facilitate those kinds of conversations. There's been a number of movies that have shot in our downtown arena, and as long as it doesn't conflict with the NHL schedule or any concerts, then they're more than happy to work with us.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
I loved your golden donut too. Was it when I saw that on the slide, I was very curious what the golden donut was going to be about. So it was great to see that that's sort of an incentive, extra
Yeah,
incentive
yeah.
barrier.
It works really well, and a lot of people take advantage of it. So there's like a number of small towns outside within that ring of Selkirk and Stonewall and Starbuck. All have been utilized by lots of different production companies. And again, those small towns are also very film friendly because they understand the benefits. They're more than happy to participate, and I think our crews have been good to them, so they're good to us in return. Right? We don't have anything like burn locations in Manitoba, which which is really nice as well. It's great that we all communicate so well, so between the unions and the producers and the producers and the producers and everything too. So it really is a film friendly environment.
That's excellent. That's excellent to know. Well, I haven't seen any questions come in, so I think everyone has felt really comfortable and got a great experience from your presentation. Oh,
Well,
let's see. It looks like maybe there is a question. And Andrew, would you like to speak up if you're
Yes,
comfortable? There you go.
yeah.
I'll
Can you hear me?
yes.
All right. Yeah, my question is about equipment wise. Which one do you suggest that we bring our own equipment or the equipment that's already available in the area? I mean, budget concerns, some kind of thing like that.
Yeah, we have equipment houses here. Cinelise is in Winnipeg, has an office in Winnipeg, as does Sunbelt. And then we have a couple of smaller suppliers too. So whether it's cameras, lighting, rigging, all of that kind of stuff is available. And again, these organizations are able to source things. So if you can't get them, like if they don't have them, they'll help source them, whether it comes from Vancouver or Calgary or Toronto. It's been they're very client friendly, and so they'll do their best to bring in what's needed.
All right. So, let's say if we bring our own equipment to Manitoba or Winnipeg,
Mhm.
across the border from the US, is there any kind of spatial arrangement for us to be prepared for? Like, import, export, some kind of thing.
To be totally truthful, I mean, we don't really bring a lot from south of the border because there's so much in other provinces that it normally travels east to west than north to south, but we could certainly talk about it if there is something that you are looking at specifically needing to bring over.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's a question that's just come in that's asking, how are you targeting your marketing?
Yeah, so that's a really good question as well. We just have brought in a new director of marketing and communications. And we've just put a new strategic plan in place. So we're really going to be looking at what more and different things we can do. But for right now, what we've been doing is we've been attending a lot of markets like Berlin, Cannes, Toronto. We make trips down to Los Angeles. And it's been really nice that we work really well with our film commissions in other provinces across Canada. So we've been doing a little tour this year of interprovincial co-productions as a panel. So we've done it in Cannes at TIFF. I did something similar in Montreal. We did something at the St. John's International Women's Film Festival. There's going to be something happening in Content London. So when we're doing those kinds of things and we're marketing, because it's really helping to market Canada as a whole, we take advantage. So we work with Telefilm to do some marketing when they have their stand at these kinds of markets. The Canada Media Producers Association also has marketing opportunities available. And then again, looking at some of those really specific trips down to Los Angeles and meeting with studios and that kind of thing as well. We're kind of focusing on the advantages that I've just sort of shared with you. We do a tailored version of that to each of the different kinds of studios, depending on what the interests are. And just really making sure that people understand. I think the incentive is one of the biggest assets that we have here. Is it really makes it interesting. So we make sure that we have lots of clear and concise information around that, and then making sure that again we have the people available to talk about it afterwards.
Great. Thank you
Excellent.
so much.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you, Lynn. No other questions have come in. Let me just give a beat to make sure no one else has a question that they'd like to ask. And of course, if you're feeling you're not quite ready to ask the question, Lynn and her team are always available and happy to speak with anyone that would like to reach out and learn a bit more about bringing their productions there. So Lynn and Marty, thank you so much for your your presentation today. It was really fantastic. The video was awesome. Great to see all of the work that's taking place there. And thank you all for participating in today's Global Location Showcase.
Yay, thanks for having us. Thanks everybody for making time to come see us today.
Have a good day, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.